Listo, entonces arrancamos con otra clasecita. Vamos a ver Keyword Arguments. Recuerden que estamos haciendo una maratón de programación. La idea es lograr programar en 6 meses. Estamos aprendiendo diferentes conceptos y aprendiendo a utilizar Python como lenguaje de programación. Es un lenguaje de programación tipado o con dos paradigmas, orientado a objetos y funcional, si no estoy mal. Entonces vamos a ver keywords. Estamos manejando la técnica de estudio Pomodoro, 25 minutos de aprendizaje y 5 minutos de descanso. Entonces vamos a arrancar con todos ustedes a darle toda. Oiga, este negrito se ve mejor que estar todo desnudo. Bueno, me voy a meter la postura. Pero, estábamos viendo las funciones. Entonces aquí sería print. What's your name? Entonces aquí le llamamos everything. Listo. Entonces vamos a ver acá, ponerle control. Listo. Entonces vamos a ponerlo listo. What's your name? Andrés. What's your last name? ¿Qué le importa? ¿Qué le importa? Bye. Hello Andrés, ¿qué le importa? Pero entonces aquí le faltó un espacio. Y no. Listo. Entonces, hello Andrés. Pero acá me pone que no. Y aquí lo imprimen. Listo, aquí lo está imprimiendo. Aquí imprime. Terminar. 3. By hello. Antes David estar en qué bueno, no lo tengo porque ya los está imprimiendo. Por eso devuelve nada, ya los está imprimiendo dentro de la función. Solo tengo que llamarlo. Estar en hello antes David, bye. Me finaliza, entra la función start. Esta es la función finaliza. Antes David by end. Listo, by end.
So in the last tutorial, you learned that whenever we define parameter,
Keyword argument.
So in the last tutorial, you learned that whenever we define parameters for our functions, we should always supply values, otherwise we'll get an error. Let's look at that error one more time. So I'm going to delete the second argument.
Parameters and arguments. How Python calls Python. Push.
And only pass John. Run our program, we get this message. Greet user, missing, 1, required, positional argument. So these arguments that we have here, like John and Smith, we refer to these as positional arguments, which means their position or order matters. In other words, the first argument we add here is the value for the first parameter, and the second argument is the value for the second parameter. So if you change their position or order, we'll get different results. Let's take a look. Let's pass Smith first and then John. Okay, delete. That's good. Let's go with this. So instead of getting hi John Smith, we get hi Smith John. So that is the reason we refer to these arguments as positional arguments. Their position or order matters. But in Python, we also have keyword arguments, and with those, the position doesn't matter. Let me show you how they work. So So let's say here we want to pass John as the value for the first name parameter. We can simply specify that here. So first name equals John. Now what we have here is a keyword argument. So this combination of having the parameter name followed by its value is what we call a keyword argument. Having the parameter name followed by its value
the keyword arguments of this combination. The combination of having the parameter name and
keyword argument. So this combination of having the parameter name followed by its
value is what we call a keyword argument. What we call keyword argument. By the combination of having the parameter name followed by its value, it's what we call keyword argument. For example, this vamos a verificarlo. Name first me parece no debería cambiar en nada. Just name. Vamos a verificar tomando acá. Veamos la consola. Okay, username name, first name.
value is what we call a keyword argument. And with these keyword arguments, the position doesn't really matter. So here we're supplying John as an argument for the first parameter. Similarly, we can use a keyword argument for Smith. Let me show you. So last name equals Smith. So now we have two keyword arguments.
Last name Hello David Andrés. Ya funcionó. Ya en ninguna parte del código agregué. Pues, what is your name? What is your name? Andrés. Pongo apellido. Pongo nombre. Hello, pongo apellido, pongo nombre.
So with these keyword arguments, we don't have to worry about the order of the parameters. That doesn't mean we should always use keyword arguments. Not really. Most of the time, we use positional arguments, but in certain situations, these keyword arguments help us improve the readability of our code. So on line 7, it's quite clear that we're supplying Smith as the last name and John as the first name. Now, in this particular example, even if we didn't have the keyword arguments, just passing two positional arguments like John and Smith would be sufficient because it's easy to guess what is the purpose of these arguments. But sometimes you're dealing with functions and you're passing numerical values to them. In those situations, it may not be quite clear what these values represent. Let me show you an example. Let's say we have a function for calculating the total cost of an order. So we can call that calculate underlying cost. So when calling this function, we need to supply three pieces of information. One is the total cost of all the order items, let's say $50. The other is the shipping cost, let's say $5. And the last piece is a discount, let's say 0.1. Someone reading this code may not be sure what these three values represent. In this case, we can improve the readability of this code by using keyword arguments. So we can prefix each value with the name of the parameter they target. For example, we can set total to 50 and then shipping to 5 and discount to 0.1. Now, if we give this code to someone else, they can immediately tell what these values represent. So that is the power of keyword arguments. So here's what I want you to take away. For the most part, use positional arguments, but if you're dealing with functions that take numerical values, see if you can improve the readability of your code by using keyword arguments. You simply prefix the arguments that you pass with the name of their parameters, and this will increase the readability of your code. Now, there is one more thing you need to know about keyword arguments. These keyword arguments should always come after positional arguments. Let me show you what I mean. So, back to our simple create user function. Let's use a keyword argument for the first name. So, let's set first name to John and see what happens. Look, we immediately get this error. Take a look. Positional argument after keyword argument. So when calling this function, we're supplying one keyword argument and one positional argument. And Python doesn't like this. So if you're mixing positional and keyword arguments, you should always use the positional arguments first and then the keyword arguments. In other words, let's remove this keyword argument here. So John is now a positional argument, is targeting the first parameter, right? Now, after this positional argument, we can supply any number of keyword arguments. So if you set last name to Smith, look, Python doesn't have any problem with this because we're adding a keyword argument after a positional argument. So let's quickly recap. For the most part, use positional arguments.
So, you want to learn how to code? Well, check out Codecademy. It's the easiest place to learn how to code with tons of features to help you land the career that you've been dreaming of. I'm a software engineer at Microsoft, and I really struggled to code when I first started. That's why I've been so impressed with everything that Codecademy Pro has to offer. Not only do they have courses on the most popular languages, but they also have an AI-powered career center where you can try their interview simulator and also check your job readiness. The coolest part about Codecademy, their platform is catered to busy people. They know that you have other things to worry about. That's why their career paths feature is a fully self-paced module with 162 lessons, 97 projects, 141 quizzes, and even interview code challenges. It's perfect for beginners that are struggling to know where to start. They tell you exactly how to learn every step of the way, so you don't have to worry about that part. Codecademy Pro is available for only $19.99 a month. So what are you waiting for? Start your free 7-day trial of Codecademy Pro today.
That means, but I can't buy more courses.
If you're dealing with functions that take multiple numerical values and it's not quite clear what those values represent, use keyword arguments to improve the readability of your code. And finally, if you're passing both positional and keyword arguments, use the keyword arguments after the positional arguments.
Entonces sí, vamos a preguntarle a ChatGPT si entendí bien. Okay. We have a function. But it is mandatory to call first the positional arguments and after the keywords le llaman así, ¿no? Keyword arguments. Yes, in Python, when calling a function, positional arguments must come before keyword arguments. Correct order. Positional and keyword. Name, age, city. Hello. Name your age. Correct. Alice. 3 correct. The correct order. Name Alice. Syntax error. Or you can't mix positional and keyword arguments in this way. You can mix positional. Why? Python reads arguments in order, so when it sees 30, it doesn't know which parameter it belongs to after a keyword argument has been used. Once you start using keyword argument, all remaining arguments must be keyword based. You can use only keyword arguments but not mix them incorrectly. Okay. If we call keywords arguments, it's better that all the parameters being the keywords arguments. If not, it is better. If not, it is better to call it positional and after the keywords argument, or do not use the keywords for none of the parameters. Exactly, you got the best practice right. Best practice for using arguments called use only optional arguments if order is clear and simple. Best for short functions with few parameters. Use the keywords arguments. The function has many parameters or defaults. Make the function call more readable. Name, age, and city. Mixing positional keywords arguments. Mixing correctly wrong. Works, error, Alice, 3. Works, but name, Alice. No, or positional after keyword. Positional after keyword. When using default values, prefer keyword arguments in function call. Name guess, okay. Age 25. Name Bob. Works order doesn't matter. If you use position arguments, use them for all parameters. It is simple. If you use keyword arguments, use them for all parameters. For clarifying. If you use positional arguments, use them for it's simple. If you use keywords parameters, use them for all parameters. For clarifying. Positional must be called first. Listo. Nos vamos para el almuercito. Entonces, aprendimos en esta clase, aprendimos. Entonces vamos a guardarlo aquí en conclusion. Okay, git add commit keywords parameters and order. Git push. Sorry. Listo. Nos fuimos.